What is up? Kieran here. Tuning in from square one. What kind of situations are you occupying in time and space? What is the purpose of me making a YouTube video? Well, to be honest, there is no purpose. But I'm going to give it meaning. The meaning that I'm going to give it is that I'm feeling emptiness with something. Coyness and smugness, seemingly two sides of the same coin. Enough propaganda, says a distant thought in my mind. I don't even think I can speak English anymore, dog. I'm so out of it. Lost, but who's even saying that? You know, I'm explaining things that are going through my head. Hoping to understand. Why do I want to understand? Ultimately, I just exist. Regardless of the meaning I give to my existence. That being said, we do exist. We do give meaning to our existence. We do live through story, at least in the world's current state of evolution. Ultimately, I think society will transcend the ego. Untold futures, unknown pathways. That being said, we're here. September 18th or 19th, who really knows? 2019. The world's changing dramatically, shifting from a state of unconsciousness, awakening, transcending, shifting. We live in paradigms of the past. We dream of possibilities of the future. And somewhere in between, there's the moment now where all converges. Now, if you are to be in the now through the lens of the past, are you really in the now or are you in the past? Society is caught in the past, fearfully predicting, producing information to prevent things from the past. I don't want to say pathology, but it is. It is a pathology. Not in and of itself, or what it is, in its imbalance. It is good, might I say, to understand reality. Truth is liberation. Truth is freedom. That being said, the modern rational mind hasn't acknowledged its own values. We claim to be purely empirical, value judgment free. Is it possible to be value judgment free when we begin to seek knowledge through a value? Why do we seek empirical knowledge? The answer to that is to control circumstances to protect ourselves. Now, my mind just hit a paradox. So, let us acknowledge that paradox. As humans, we must seek knowledge. This is the paradox. As humans, we must seek knowledge to grow, to survive, to evolve as a species. So there's a timeline that involves the human species, which our souls enter into, are to, out to. The soul's timeline of evolution occurs on its own timeline than the world's evolution. They're interjoined and play off of each other, but they have their own timelines. The soul already knows everything, yet, as humans, even though our higher self is aware that we know everything, we need to learn. We're moving towards a place we're already at. Can you see that? This is illusory. And the more we can let go of the past through the present, the brighter the future we can create. I don't know about that last part. Just words, my dear. Just words arising out of who knows where. Are these words proponents of my physiological system of cause and effect? Of complex mechanisms seeking to understand? Or do they arise out of a place above and beyond the human vessel? Is the spiritual meaning I give it really objective? Or is it just a story in my mind? If the entire world is simply a story in my mind, how do I know it's not? How do I know everything is not a story in my mind? And if this is true, are the stories in my mind not just as valid, just as real? The stories in our minds are imbued with wisdom, with patterns, energetic patterns. We tell ourselves stories in a sort of way where we are reprogramming or programming our subconscious mind, the lenses through which we perceive reality. There is a role for story, but it's dangerous to identify with story, to not just see it as story, but to identify with it, because then you imbue your identity into a limited structure. 1 second. Higher self, I call you forward. What can I offer to the interweb, to the collective mind of humanity? Which knowledge shall I translate first? The knowledge of soul, you say. What is soul? Soul is light information. Soul is the information building upon itself to oneness, to nothingness, one and the same, to the end of the line, where there was no line. God divided himself into 1,000,000 pieces so he could see and experience himself. Darkness, light, the stories we attribute to them are just the experience of God experiencing himself. You can't have one without the other. Don't take this as life is always suffering, because it doesn't have to be always suffering. But it's not always joy either. Life just is. There reaches a point in time and space where one reaches a state of being beyond duality, beyond joy and pain. Within this sequential stage of development towards oneness, spirit transcends happiness and pain into a realm of constant contentment, knowing itself as whole, perfecting the emotions. We cannot rely on our minds our thoughts, our forced attempts at understanding. Believing too strongly in the mind is psychosis. One must just observe from the seat of soul. Now, the final message for you people in this video is to follow your hearts. Wholeness has no barriers, no division. Be wary of any restraint, any condition. True vision lies in open wisdom. Follow your heart. Speak how you want to speak. Let wisdom arise how it wants to arise. No need to force or coerce. Just be. Let yourself be free. That's when the world receives your gift. Much love. Peace up. Keep it real. Keep it easy. Love you all.